Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secrets to her glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes the talk of town. And we're live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabaret. And we're live tonight.
Hey, welcome everybody. Amber has another incredible show lined up for you. She's going to be interviewing Sarah Hester Ross, who is an amazing comic and multi-talented musician. But first, I think it's time for that guy with 3 names, News Briefs. President Biden marked Memorial Day with a somber yet moving speech at Arlington National Cemetery, acknowledging the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've given their lives for democracy. This is how presidents throughout the 20th and 21st century have honored our dead. Trump, on the other claw, posted a long, incomprehensible e-rant, quote, "Happy Memorial Day to all, including the human scum out to destroy our country, to the radical left, the Trump-hating federal judge in New York over 2 trials and awarded a woman I never met before. Okay, a quick handshake 25 years ago doesn't count. And $91 million for defamation. And I can't see myself in a mirror, blah, 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 blah." His Truth Social post goes on for some time. And if you don't like Trump, he specifically mentions you as a crooked Democrat, an unhinged libertarian, a rhino trying to use the giraffe's bathroom. Oh, and your mother's a slut, and your father's a drunk, and you're not his type. I mean, just look at you. Fake tits or no fake tits, baby, you just aren't his type. Eric Trump, a man whose search for his father's love died at his own birth, celebrated Memorial Day by posting, quote, "The family that gave everything to save America and will do it again." Then he directed readers to his Memorial Day sale on Trump sheets and pillowcases, now available at Mr. Pillowman. Down so soft, it's like sleeping on cocaine. Now, Trump did contribute something to America. A mind-boggling $8.4 trillion increase to the national debt. See, blowjobs of the rich and Wall Street. Trump broke the Supreme Court mainly by threatening it'd be terrible if something happened to your dry cleaner who takes care of those black robes. Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law by demonization, received a $2 billion investment from the Saudis as he left Trump's White House savings and moan. Yep, he's a confidence man with confidence. Turning our stomachs back to the closing arguments of the state of New York versus Donald Matilda Trump, the defense rested after a vigorous number of minutes, chanting, "Michael Cohen, but Michael Cohen, but Michael Cohen," over and over, as if trying to conjure his lies out of Trump's flatulent air. The prosecution took on tour its 4.5-hour Philip Glass orchestrated summation against AI-generated post-apocalyptic images of what a Trump dictatorship without a dick would look like. To those of us who had turned to the left and coughed, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a bumpy Reich. And that's the news in my briefs. Hey, enough about me. I think we need to talk to Russell.
Dwayne, how are you?
I am good. Great to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm so glad you're here tonight. We have an amazing guest. But first, let's tell everybody where they can see that guest. And that's on YouTube, because we recommend YouTube so you see Amber and everybody in full HD and Sarah, and you'll want to see her in full HD. And that's youtube.com/Amber Live. Plus, there's a great chat room there where you can go in and chat with all the regulars and your friends and anybody else who happens to show up and just have a grand old time. And we love our YouTube, so that's a great place to go watch. And then, Dwayne, you know what keeps us going?
Your bustiers?
That's right, our bustiers. We love all our bustiers, and we got a new one this week, and that's Stacy. Thank you, Stacy, so much. And if you want to become a bustier and help us pay those bills that come in every show, use that Venmo at RJD Pro to make a donation, or you can go to amberlive.tv. Thank you all. Thank you so much. We do love our bustiers. And then the bustiers are the people that help us keep bringing in these great guests. And tonight's guest is, you've already said it, Dwayne, who is it?
Sarah Hester Ross. Come on down.
Right. Sarah has an incredible new comedy special out. She's been on the show before, but it was a long time ago, so you may or may not have seen her, and her career just keeps growing. So let's get to that interview.
We first met Las Vegas-based comedian Sarah Hester Ross 3 years ago during the pandemic shutdown. At the time, she was doing what a lot of entertainers without stages were doing, present company included, self-producing shows on the internet. A lot has happened with Sarah since then, including a tour promoting her steaming. I was going to say her steaming comedy special. Oh, it is. We first met Las Vegas-based comedian Sarah Hester Ross 3 years ago during the pandemic shutdown. At the time, she was doing what a lot of entertainers without stages were doing, present company included, self-producing shows on the internet. A lot has happened with Sarah since then, including a tour promoting her streaming comedy special, Don't Mess with a Redhead. Let's take a look.
America! Some folks were meant to be swallowed. Those folks weren't meant to be warned. You call me childless, I prefer well-rested. I don't like being watched while I pee. Stop giving men microphones. No one cares what you say in your basement alone. My temper can flare, as red as my hair. I put the laughter back in manslaughter. Don't mess with a redhead. DG, don't mess with a redhead. You will not live to regret it. DG, don't mess with a redhead. That was adequate.
I'm not going to mess with the redhead, but I do want to talk to her. Sarah, come on in.
I don't know if there's a difference there, Amber. You talk to one, you mess with one.
Oh my, how fun is that? But before we get into your special, I want to talk about, since the last time we talked to each other during the shutdown, tell us what Las Vegas did and what's happening now.
Las Vegas has changed so much since the pandemic. I mean, we opened up and we, as Las Vegas does, probably broke some rules and opened up a little too early because, people were coming. So we were like, okay. It's just, it's very interesting to think, but the entertainment is different. And I don't really know how to put it in words, but people aren't really coming for shows much anymore unless they're like big name, like Lady Gaga and Adele. Like those are the shows that are drawing people to Vegas. But really the like lounge, smaller shows are really struggling. I mean, even Cirque is struggling right now to like sell tickets, and granted they have huge venues, so that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, it's just it hasn't gotten back to the same. But I work at the piano bar. I don't know if we talked about that. At New York, New York, and my little bar is going strong. Like so I'm very, very lucky, blessed, however, whatever deity you want to choose at that moment. But I my show is doing really well, so I'm very, very happy about that. So
Tell us more about your show. Is it still dueling pianos?
it is, yes. So dueling pianos, and it's not really my show. I work with 3 other piano players. I like to say that because people online that know me, they come to the dueling piano show, and it's really not what you think you're expecting to like if you go to a comedy club or a theater where I'm on tour, where it's just me and I'm headlining. Dueling pianos that's not it. Like the dueling piano show, I'm sharing the stage with 4 other piano players, and it's all request. So, and it's definitely like a dirty, loungy kind of piano bar vibe where it's very adult, and we talk about adult humor and stuff like that. So, but it's a fun time. It's really fun. The show is 7 nights a week. I work there Friday, Sundays, and Tuesdays. So if you're in Vegas, come and see me. If I'm not on the road, that's where I am. So
What about the Sphere? Have you been to the Sphere yet?
I have, yeah. It's very interesting. I actually went to go see U2 when they first were there. It was interesting. I have I don't have great things to say about it, but they're entertainer like things. Like I felt the sound wasn't very good. There were seats that my boyfriend and I got last minute, and they were obstructed views. But they didn't tell us they were obstructed views. But I mean, it's very beautiful. I mean, it's intense. I do remember my boyfriend said this one time, AC/DC, when they were touring in the early 80s and lasers were like a really big thing, AC/DC was like, we don't want to use lasers in our shows because people will look at the lasers instead of listening to our music. And that to me is exactly what the Sphere is. Like people are looking at the production value and they're forgetting that freaking U2 is sitting, you know what I mean? So I have some opinions, but the venue itself is extremely beautiful.
So friends of mine were out there recently when Fish played there.
Oh yeah.
And I saw one of the performances live on the big screen, and oh my, it was impressive, and they were blown away as well. They
it's
said
extremely impressive, and I get it. It's the direction that entertainment is going. And it's smart for money wise, where productions don't have to bring that kind of production to Vegas with them. They have it there already set up, so it makes sense. I think the venue is made for like DJs or people like Beyonce, or Taylor Swift, where their production value is so huge. But if they just show up by themselves with like dancers in a band, like the production is there. So it makes sense. And Fish, I get that a lot. That makes sense.
It was pretty cool. All right. Your comedy special that's streaming now. When did you start being a stand-up as opposed to a comedian piano player?
I would say I put out my like original comedy, started doing that about 5 years ago. And it didn't really catch on until the pandemic happened. It was really like right place, right time kind of thing where everybody was online. And yeah, exactly. And people just kind of caught me at the right time. And I had been putting out original comedy for years, but it hit a group and it kept going and the numbers kept growing. And then I kind of realized that this could be my thing. It could be my one woman show. It could be I do have to go back a little bit. I wouldn't consider myself a comedian. Mostly because I respect stand-up comedy so much and the way that that's not what I do. I'm a musical comedian. So I lean more into the music side than like stand-up comedy. I like to give an example where I'm the love child of Bette Midler and Rachel Bloom.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like the way that Bette Midler is a comedian, that's how I'm a comedian. I wouldn't consider myself a stand-up, but if you were to see my comedy special, well, not if, when your audience
Yeah.
sees my comedy special, you'll get what I mean. It's not really stand-up. It's all musical comedy, and I have like bits and pieces of stand-up in between my songs, but I feel like I've really come into my own in the last like 3 years, probably.
Now, in the special, there is a lot of music. What percentage of the special is music?
I would say 80%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80%. And it's all original music.
I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, it's all original. I actually kind of had a battle with the production company because I wanted to put in my parodies. For those who know me, I got my first viral video was my "Vibrators Are a Girl's Best Friend" parody, instead of diamonds. But I couldn't get it in the special because I couldn't get the rights to the music. So, but it's okay. One day.
All right. We're going to talk more to Sarah about her special, but first we're going to take a little break.
See? Didn't we tell you she's funny? Oh gosh. Yeah, let's bring Russell back in.
Oh my goodness, I would absolutely adore Sarah. She does such incredible work, and ever since Florida Man Friday took off, she just keeps going and going. And you know what helps keep us going and going, and that's our store. And you can go to the Amber Live store at amberlive.tv, and you can find these fantastic pieces that you can order, including this hardcore pornography mug, Alice on her way to the orgy, and you can also get Amber products, Rocco products, Rusty products. Everybody's on a product there, so go check out the Amber Live store and order some products today. And then when you're done ordering products, we'll get right back to our guest.
All right, we're back talking to Sarah about her streaming special, Don't Mess with a Redhead. All right, Sarah, how did this come about? Who did you approach somebody saying, hey, I want to do a comedy special, or did someone come to you?
Well, I had put on my one woman show as a residency here in Las Vegas for about 3 months. And then I found an agent that started booking me on like comedy club tours. And the agent, I did a show in LA, which is where he's from, and he came and saw it, and he basically was like, okay, I can try to sell this to a filming company. The company is called Comedy Dynamics, and they did like a weekend of filming 15 comedian specials in North Hollywood, and they I got it through my agent. Ultimately, he booked me in it, and it was an amazing experience. I was the only musical comedian that they had been working with in that and so I was a little bit more complicated than their regular stand-up comic that just stands there with a microphone. again, once you see my comedy special, you'll see like I do costume changes, like I have video. It's very tech heavy. And because, I come from the Broadway world and I can't just sit there. I can't just stand there on stage. No, it's impossible. I have to do something. So that's how it came about. I basically got it from my agent, which I'm incredibly grateful for. So
I'm always interested in the process. All right, they said, okay, we want to film you one of your performances. What goes on?
a lot of back and forth of trying, like I said earlier, in the episode, we had some struggles back and forth because I wanted to do either songs that I have covered, which was Savage Daughter. That was a really popular viral song of mine that I covered early in the pandemic. And I wanted, in my live shows, I intertwine what I like to call my normal songs that I do that have nothing to do with comedy. Again, very Bette Midler-esque, where I weave in ballads to within the comedy of my show. And it just didn't work out. We couldn't get the rights to certain things. And I have this bit where instead of to fever, you give me fever. Instead, it's you give me an STD. And it's a crowd work thing that I do in my live shows, but I couldn't get it into my comedy special. And so it's just a lot of back and forth of like trying to find the best show and push it into an hour because it couldn't be more than an hour.
Mhm.
And that was really hard for me because I have a lot of material and definitely a process, but they were so kind and so patient. And they ultimately the end product is so close to my vision.
I can
I
imagine.
mean, there are little bits and pieces where if I had, if I had $1 million budget, I would have done things differently, but or added just a little bit more. But it really, I'm very, very proud of it, and I'm very happy with the outcome of it.
Now, it's a large audience. How big was the auditorium you were performing in?
I think it was about 1,000 seats.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a pretty big. It's an old I think it says it in the special and I can't remember the name of the theater, but it's a very old theater. I think it's been around since the 1930s. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. El Portal, that's what it's called in North Hollywood. So
Now, the people who were in the audience, were they there just to see you? You said they recorded other comedians as well. How would that go?
yes. So they were free tickets that they put out. And so I would say probably 90% of the audience were my fans.
Mhm.
And then I think that they had some seat fillers just to make the room completely full. But yeah, no, they were just there to see me. So the shows that they filmed before me, I was the last one of the night. They did 2 other comedy specials before me, and they had their own audiences, and
Okay.
they came in and they filtered them out, and then my audience came, and yeah,
Well, how exciting! How exciting!
yeah,
So, tell me some of the bits. You do a male character during your show. Tell me about
I
him.
do. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite bits that I've ever written, and it's so campy, and it's so like, uh, which is very me, but I haven't had a chance to do that in my like one woman comedy thing since I've done. It's kind of characters. The song is called Good Old Days. And basically, I'm being satirical about people who feel like they want to go back to the days, the simpler times, as they like to say. But really, they're just saying, when white men were in charge, and and so I play this very sure of himself character, uh, mustache, bushy eyebrows, cowboy hat kind of thing, and it's really fun. And then
And what's
and
his name?
you know what? I've never named him. I think I'm gonna go ahead and name him Earl.
Okay.
I think
like
Earl
Earl.
fits.
Mhm.
Earl fits.
Earl Fitz. I like Earl
Earl
Fitz.
Oh, Earl Fitz. Yeah. Done. That's what his name is.
All right. There's one song that you do about don't give men the microphone.
Yes. It's
Now, those film clips, are those real?
oh yes, 100%. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I have thousands of them. The thing is that those are just some of the like more shocking ones. But I, over the years since I wrote Stop Giving Men Microphones, I get sent videos every single day by people being like, what is this man saying? I can't believe that someone gave him a microphone, blah blah blah. Up to now, I don't know if you're a huge fan, but Jerry Seinfeld is going a little loco right now.
Whoa. Oh,
I mean,
yes.
he is going, and it's so bizarre because he was on this podcast and is complaining and saying that the death of comedy is because of liberals. And he was just on this interview saying that, he misses masculinity hierarchy. And I'm just like, you're a billionaire. You're a billionaire complaining about hierarchy. Like, can you please shut up?
He can do
Please.
whatever he wants.
Like literally, like there's nobody stopping him. And it's just like, really, dude? I've been getting sent that video a lot lately of people just being like, this man doesn't need a microphone anymore. And it's just like, it. I am not for censorship. That is not what the song is about. It is definitely satirical. It's definitely over the top. But it's calling out toxic masculinity and the fact that for centuries men have just been able to say what they want without any sort of consequences. And that's at the end of the day what these men are missing. They're missing the lack of consequences that they haven't had to go through. You can say whatever you want. It's a free, the internet is free. You can get on there and talk as much nonsense as you want, but at the end of the day, there's going to be consequences.
Definitely.
And thankfully that is the positive side to social media. You like say what you want, but there's going to be reactions to it, whether you like it or not. So that's kind of what the song is about, and it's tongue in cheek. And
will you be touring again with this show?
I think so. Not the exact show. I always try to do different things in my live shows every single time. If I'm going back to a place where I've been, I'll change up the bits and add, like I said, I have so many songs that either I didn't get it into the special or I haven't done in a certain venue or place that I like to add in. So if you've seen me before, you come see me again, I guarantee you it's going to be a different show. That's something that I pride myself on. But yeah, the idea is to get it out there and to advertise the special as much as possible. And one of those ways is touring. So I'm assuming I'll be back on the road either by the end of this year or definitely by the beginning of 2025. So.
Okay, you've got that going. It's streaming now. You still got your gig going at New York, in Las Vegas. What's going to happen next? What's next in your life?
Well, it's about 99.9% sure. I haven't signed the contract, but it looks like I'm going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Wow.
which I'm very excited about. I've wanted to do this festival for a while, and it just kind of it was the right time, now that I have the special out and possibly pushing that over. I've never performed personally on that side of the pond. So I'm very much looking forward to getting in front of a European audience. So,
I think they will love your material.
Ooh, I think so. I think it's right up their alley. So,
it's up a lot of people's alley. Well, Sarah Hester Ross, thank you so much for coming back to talk to us. It's been too long. And again, if you're ever on the East Coast, let us know. We'd love to see you in Burlington, Vermont.
Amber, thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
What would an episode of Amber Live be without Rocco? I'm still waiting. It just never happens because he's always here. And how fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Rocco Zamboni.
Rocco Zamboni versus the internet.
Hey everybody, it's me, Rocco. Guess what? I want to take a moment to talk about false advertising. Here I am in a Tanger's outlet store, right? Now, I've been trying to do some work at home, electrical work, and I needed an outlet. So I figured, where better to go than an outlet store? Bullcrap. There's nothing here. Nobody's got any outlets. I hate this. Don't advertise outlets. It's like that time I was going to Virgin Megastore, and boy, was I disappointed. No Virgins there. Not to mention the major disappointment I had when I went to BJ's. Let me tell you, there's some things around here that drive me nuts. I mean, I know some of my friends out there who went to Five Guys and were disappointed. You know what I'm talking about. So listen, if you're going to advertise something, tell the truth. Say, listen, this is an outlet store, but we don't sell outlets. Go somewhere else. This is so crazy. And you don't go home shopping at Home Depot. I went there. There's no homes there. This world sucks. I blame it all on stupidity, lack of education. Or am I dumb? I don't know. Anyway, screw this. Bye.
Love that Rocco.
Well, as we promised, hilarity, right? So you got to remember Sarah Hester Ross. Check out her videos on YouTube and go see her in person. Oh my gosh. But you know what? I have a friend who's pregnant, and she's told me that she has a taste for something blue and furry. And I said, boog and chug.
Summer is amazing. Beaches, beaches, and more beaches.
Well, hey, watch your mouth. I'm just a kid.
Beach. I said beach, not bitch.
Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot.